She's Matt, and we got your geek news right here.
And this week we're bringing you a look at the sequel to one of Marvel's most successful big screen characters, Iron Man. Plus, a look at the video game tie-in from Sega.
Well, unlike the mixed reviews that the Spider-Man films have gotten, Iron Man has gone over just as well with film critics as it has with die-hard comic book fans like us.
Which is largely thanks to Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. treating Iron Man's comic book essence with some real reverence, while still putting so much focus on simply crafting the best film they could have.
And with Iron Man 2, it looks like none of the returning cast and crew are taking that process for granted, because this time around, the expectations are astronomical.
Could we pick up now where we left off? Mr. Stark, please.
Yes, dear.
Could I have your attention?
Absolutely.
Our priority here is to have you turn over the Iron Man weapon to the American people.
Well, you can forget it.
We're safe. America is secure. You want my property? You can't have it. But I did you a big favor.
I have successfully privatized world peace.
For me, it just allowed me to be considered a director of a whole new type of movie, not just comedies or the smaller independent films, but this opened me up a great deal. So this was a big turning point, and we knew that we probably would end up doing another one together.
Okay, give me a smooch for good luck. I might not make it back.
Go get him, boss.
You complete me?
I think we really felt like we believed in ourselves and we knew the movie that we were trying to make. It's always nice to be a part of success. It doesn't always happen in life. So it was really fun for us. We're just appreciating it.
She is from legal, and she is potentially a very expensive sexual harassment lawsuit if you keep ogling her like that. Yes, and I've got 3 excellent potential candidates. They're lined up and ready to meet you.
I don't have time to meet. I need someone now. I feel like it's her.
No, it's not.
I'll never forget it. It changed my life. People started showing up. I remember Jon Favreau and I were driving around to theaters, and they kept rolling over Iron Man into other theaters, kind of like watching watching the train schedule change. And it was just so palpable, But I guess people reacted as much to me and the character and Gwyneth, and the whole idea was there was just a tone to the movie that people enjoyed.
You ever boxed before?
I have, yes.
Or like Thai Bo, Booty Boot Camp, Crunch, something like that?
How do I spell your name, Natalie?
R-U-S-H-M-A-N.
What are you going to Google her now?
I thought I was ogling her. Oh, wow. Very, very impressive individual.
So
She's fluent in
predictable,
French, Italian, Russian, Latin. Who speaks Latin?
No one speaks Latin.
No
it's
one
a
speaks
dead
Latin?
language. You can read Latin or you can write Latin, but
Did
you
you
can't
model in
speak Latin.
Tokyo? Because she modeled in Tokyo.
We put a lot of energy and effort into making the film something that lives up to what we hope people have come to expect after seeing the first one, but yet doing it in an unexpected way. We added some new cast members, Mickey Rourke, Don Cheadle, Scarlett Johansson, and of course, as Nick Fury now, Sam Jackson is actually part of the main film, not just after the credit bonus Easter egg scene. And so all of this informs the reality of the world, and that world then expands to other Marvel films like Thor coming out next year, and Captain America, and then later Avengers, and then maybe after that Iron Man 3. So there's a lot of responsibility on this movie, but first and foremost, the responsibility is to the audience that likes the first film.
Contrary to popular belief, I know exactly what I'm doing.
It's just great to hear the humility and the reverence in Jon Favreau, and knowing that he's as much of a fanboy as I am makes me so excited to see where he takes the storyline.
Obviously, Tony Stark and Pepper Potts are back to continue their ongoing romance, but that guy who played Rhodey in the first one, oh gee, what's his name?
Oh, irrelevant, because now we've got Don friggin' Cheadle, an infinitely better casting choice, reprising the role of James Rhodes, just in time for the maiden flight of the War Machine.
This whole lone gunslinger act's unnecessary. You don't have to do this alone. When I first saw Iron Man, I thought it was a robot. I didn't know there was a person in there. So it was kind of great to get the experience on this film of being introduced to this whole world with the Avengers and what's next. And I love that all these movies can intersect, all these characters can, kind of cross-pollinate. I think the relationship between these two men is very interesting because for Rhodey anyway, the question is, how do I protect my friend, but at the same time, you know, do my due diligence with regard to service for my country? How do I deal with this person who is a reluctant superhero, though he has the ability to, you know, he could lay waste to an army? And how do I make my superiors comfortable, but at the same time, you know, let my friend know that I have his back?
Anthony, is that you?
My least
Hey,
favorite person
pal.
on earth, Justin.
How you
Hammer.
doing? You're not the only rich guy here with a fancy car. You know Christine Everhart from Vanity Fair? You guys know each other?
Hi.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, roughly.
We do. Roughly.
BTW, big story, the new CEO of Stark Industries.
I know.
Congratulations.
I know. My editor will kill me if I don't grab a quote for our Powerful Women issue.
Oh.
Can I?
Sure.
She's actually doing a big spread on me for Vanity Fair. I thought
am.
I'd throw her a bone, you know.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Well, she did quite a spread on Tony last year.
And she wrote a story as well.
It was very impressive.
That was good.
Very well done.
I love that Justin Hammer is going to be involved in the War Machine storyline.
And making him a fair bit younger works for me, since we had Jeff Bridges as the older, evil business villain in the first movie.
Right, but Iron Man 2 is giving us more than just Hammer as the villain, because Mickey Rourke's Whiplash and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow are also thrown into the mix this time.
What I saw you do to Tony Stark on that track, wow. You need my resources. I want to make Iron Man look like an antique.
We have a much stronger villain storyline, as sequels to superhero movies often do. Well, Whiplash is a villain from the comic books. He's not very impressive in the comics at all. He looks like he's in spandex or lycra bodysuit. I think he wears purple. He has a big plume coming out of his head, big feather. And I don't know what was the inspiration. I think they were running out of ideas. But the idea of a character that uses whips was interesting. And then there's Ivan Vanko, one of the people who was in the Crimson Dynamo suit, which was during the Cold War the Soviet version of Iron Man. There was, you know, Crimson Dynamo, Titanium Man. There were a lot of suits running around. Times have changed, and we wanted to make the story reflect our times more. And I wanted to preserve the Russian heritage of our villain, but a Cold War military villain did not seem appropriate. And so the idea of Mickey Rourke as this ex-con with prison tattoos and an underworld figure from that part of the world was really exciting.
You forget all the lives the Stark family has destroyed.
Speaking of thieves, where did you get this design?
My father, Anton Vanko.
Oh, I never heard of him.
My father is the reason you're alive.
The reason I'm alive is because you had a shot, you took it, you missed.
Did I?
I've got to say that combining Whiplash with Crimson Dynamo does make perfect sense as a modern villain, because you lose all the goofy, irrelevant bits, but you keep all the danger.
Now, I think I got enough Mickey in spandex watching The Wrestler. I couldn't possibly take him with the plume on his head, you know what I mean?
Before we get into our review of Iron Man 2, we'll take a look at Sega's second crack at making the video game tie-in.
And man, do I hope they did a better job this time than in 2008.
Oof, God, me too.